Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spring Equinox Feng Shui of 2022. It's so great to be here with you today, and I've got some flowers on. I'm ready. I'm ready for spring, and I hope you're feeling ready too. For those of you who are starting autumn, know that this is a time of harvesting abundance, which is equally awesome. Both equinoxes are thought to be quite magical. And we're going to talk about the equinox, which is March 20th, 2022 this year. Next, not this Sunday, the next Sunday. And we're going to talk about all of the amazing themes and preparing for the equinox and preparing for the season ahead. And there's a lot to do to prepare, but it's all fun. And the reason why I wanted to do this one in advance is because every new season is a time where the energy shifts. In traditional Chinese medicine, every single season corresponds to a different one of the five elements. The five elements compose everything in life. They compose our bodies, our moods, every object that we see, even how we manifest, which is what we teach in the School of Intention. It's very exciting. And it's unlike anything else in the world. It's so cool. And if you want to become a Feng Shui pro this year, in the description box, I don't know if you could see that right now while I'm doing this, but you can get all the details for the School of Intention, which is starting soon. If you're interested in becoming a life-changing designer, also, we're headed into a season of breakthroughs in Feng Shui. It's the Breakthrough Camp season, and the free Feng Shui video class to make breakthroughs is also going to be below. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Dana Claudat. I'm a Feng Shui master and founder of the School of Intention, which is a whole method and school of Feng Shui based on infinite possibility, creative awakening, and intention. I always feel like y'all who are here have been here before, but I know that people see these videos afterward. So what are your intentions for the season ahead? What do you want to create in the season ahead? What would you be so excited to have happen in the season ahead? And this is a big thing to think about. There's a lot going on in the world, and my largest intention is for peace to come to the world. I know that that's a lofty intention, but every day we can send that energy out. Every day we can send out intention for more peace. We can send love to people who we love. We can send energy to the projects we want to energize. We can actually do this. You have the power within you to do this. And part of spring awakening is waking up to that power that you have. It's building momentum. It's waking up to your power on a higher level. And so using the time of the equinox where there's equal light and equal dark, this beautiful manifestation of yin and yang, this beautiful manifestation of balance, of equal, is so powerful. And in many traditions, many cultures, this is a time of massive manifesting power. So let's talk about that for a moment, this idea of the equal light and dark. There's no dark without light. There's no light without dark. We need both forces. In Feng Shui, it's yin and yang. There's no action without rest. There's no rest without action. There's opposite forces. The forces of yin and yang in Feng Shui actually compose all of life, just like the elements. And so when we're working with yin and yang and creating more of a sense of dynamic balance, it's always going to be personal. So before we go further, how would you like to balance your life more in the season ahead? Now, how many of you think of balance as being too soft? How many of you think of balance as being not excellent? That was a big thing for me. How many of you think that if you're balanced, then you're simply not working hard enough? How many of you think that you won't be successful if you're balanced? That's a huge pervasive idea in culture, that if we are balanced, that if we're actually balancing our life, if we're working and we're resting, if we're concentrating really hard and then zoning out, that having that mix of things, if we're having enough social time, having enough of detailed oriented work, that we are not doing enough, that we're not working hard enough, that we're not going to be excellent enough. How many of you have picked up that idea, which is so, so common? And if that's you raising your hand, even reluctantly, I want you to know that that was my entire life. And so many of my clients, that was their entire life. And when they could embrace this idea that more balance could actually be the most successful way to be, things started to actually happen. Breakthroughs started to happen. Things started to actually move forward. Life doesn't move from a place of just forcing things to happen. Yes, we can force things to happen. We can struggle. We can be intense. We can not rest, but that's only sustainable up to a certain point. And then it's a downward spiral. Even scientists have learned that if you work and work and work and work and work, after a certain point, you might as well not work anymore because it's completely ineffective. We don't have the bandwidth. We don't have the capacity, as brilliant as we are, we don't have the capacity to not rejuvenate and keep going at the same velocity, with the same energy, with the same power. And so this idea of balance is so key to this time, and it's so key to this year, and it's so key all the time. And so if you have a negative connotation to the word balance, now's the time to kind of look at that and go, can I just experiment? What would happen if I shut down my computer at 8 o'clock at night instead of 10 o'clock at night? What would happen if I gave myself a day off? What would happen if I took a vacation? What would happen if I started doing hobbies and crafts that I really loved, even though they're not serious? And as you're going to see as we go through everything to do with spring, doing all that not serious stuff is going to make you more successful. I'm willing to actually bet on that. I have seen this time and time and time again. So in this time of dynamic light and dark, we are called to bring life into balance. And if you resist balance because you think it's not excellent, because you think it's not going to be good enough, because you think you're going to kind of be slacking off or not giving 100% to work, now is an amazing time to challenge that idea. This is so incredibly important. I used to try to calculate the minimum amount of sleep I could get and still function the next day to try to get more done. I feel you. I feel you. That's what happens. And a lot of us are incredibly busy, but no one else can bring balance to ourselves but us. No one is, very few of us have someone who comes into our life like a magic wand and says, now you're going to rest. Now you're going to take a vacation. We really need to embrace this for ourselves. And the only way you'll know it works is if you're willing to experiment. And experimenting is a huge part of creativity. Experimenting is a huge part of life expansion. So this is an incredibly powerful time of manifestation, according to, again, so many traditions. This time of equal light and dark, this equinox moment, both in the spring and the autumn, but now it's like everything in the heavens is lining up in so many powerful ways. There's tons of Jupiter energy. Jupiter is still in Pisces, where it is its boldest and biggest and expanding abundance. Neptune is in the mix, which is going to bring us this huge, incredible, phenomenal masterpiece conjunction to make brilliant things happen. Again, this is a huge time of making breakthroughs. Now, to get even deeper into this, before we start with the actual start of the new season, we have a full moon with this fabulous Earth trine, which is also bringing us into more manifesting with the Earth, manifesting from our true nature, as well as manifesting with nature. So during this time of the equinox, it's a time to connect to nature more powerfully. And in that connection to nature more powerfully, you will find more of your power. And so how do you connect to nature more powerfully? Some things you can think about doing to celebrate. Celebrating is a great way to connect to your actual power. We are meant to be joyful beings. We're not meant to be serious. We're not meant to be robots. We're not meant to just produce things. Yes, your work in the world is so important, but so is your joy in the world. And hopefully those two things come together in life. And if they aren't coming together yet, find ways to bring more of your joy to what you are doing in life. And it will give you so much energy and so much magnetism and bring so many amazing things into your life. So now, as we are thinking about ways to connect to nature, think about what you love to do. What do you love to do outside? What do you love to do gardening indoors, even if it's still cold where you are? Is it time for taking care of the house plants, repotting them, doing things that are going to connect you to the earth, very literally, your hands in the soil? It's a beautiful time to do something like make a nature mandala. Have any of you ever made a nature mandala before? It's really fun. You can Google it. It's a very easy thing to do. Just set an intention first, what your art project, this mandala, which is a big circle, what your art project is going to be focused upon, because making one of these mandalas is a very sacred event. And so think about what it is that you would like to manifest. What's your intention? And then go out, gather leaves, flower petals, herbs, all sorts of shells and stones and all things that you can find out in nature. Gather them up and make circles, patterns in circles. And again, you can just Google nature mandala and you'll get all kinds of examples. And you can make these beautiful circles. And as you do, you are building a geometric structure around your intention connected to nature. It's an art project. It's a meditative project. Some very famous psychologists have said that the mandala also is a key to unlocking our unconscious, getting into our subconscious and all of the power of our subconscious mind. It's a really, really powerful exercise, and you can do it in a group. What I am doing, and if you're a friend of mine who lives in Los Angeles, expect a call from me. What I am aiming to do for this equinox is gather together my friends and make a massive outdoor mandala. I've never done this before with people in a big, huge group. I've done it in groups where we made our own, but I really want to do it as a big group. Bring people together during this time. Again, part of the joy, bring people together that you love. If you can't bring people together physically, create an online gang to get together. Make a point of celebrating in some way. And again, making this connection to nature is going to be such a supercharger. Now, this is a season, as I said in the very beginning, as we go through all the seasons, we go through the element cycle. This is a season of awakening wood energy. Wood energy is all about your growth and your momentum. So how can you build momentum in your life? First, let's start with your home, because I don't want to let that go. Very specifically, do your spring cleaning, do your decluttering. I'm going to leave this be very simple. Do your spring cleaning, do your decluttering. Let that be very simple. You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't have to get every single thing done. Once you've done some spring cleaning, done all of your stuff, to let some stuff go, any clutter that is obvious to you that you can let go, then you can start thinking a little bit deeper. What projects do you need to finish? What's been in your house that doesn't feel quite, again, in harmony and balance with you? I had these drawers that didn't fit into a kitchen island that I bought. And I was so pissed. I spent hours putting together this kitchen island, and I was ready to put the drawers in and celebrate this thing being done. And they were broken. The slides on the drawers were broken. Now, I don't know anything about drawer slides. I couldn't even believe I put the kitchen island together. And so for a month and a half, I put it aside and waited, because all these different people were meant to help me do this, but it was so hard to coordinate someone to come and fix the drawers. So I took myself to Home Depot, got myself the drawer slides, and I was like, let me put these aside. I got the last 2 pair that were in all of Los Angeles, and I put them aside, and I said, I'm just going to wait. And I was waiting. And if you've been waiting like this on someone to come and do something that theoretically you might be able to do, take this anecdote to heart. I was waiting and waiting. And then I was sitting right here. 2 days ago, I was sitting right here, and it occurred to me the best thing I could do today is put these drawer slides in myself. Now, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't own a level. I do have a power drill. I didn't know if it worked very well. And I went and did it. It was hard, but you can do hard things. You can do hard things, and you can make that, you can power. This is the time where you can really bring your power to life and bring these projects to life in your home, whether it's hanging art on the walls, fixing something that needs to be fixed that isn't too technical, where nothing could really happen that's so bad. I was like, what's the worst thing that could happen is that I break these drawer slides and then I wait another month. And I don't know how it happened, but I did it. And the whole time I chanted out loud, I can do this. I can do this. I can do hard things. I can do hard things. I can do this. I can do this. And this is such a great thing. If you don't know how to paint a wall or you don't know how to do something, do your research. I watched a video, do your research, but then reinforce within yourself, you can do this. You can do the things. You can start the garden yourself. You can do the home repair. You can fix the hinge that's squeaky. And when you can really own this power within yourself, you'll start to see that wasn't that bad. That was hard. But once it wasn't hard anymore, it was epic. And it totally changed my viewpoint on what was possible in terms of my own abilities. So now's the time to stretch when it comes to your home, when it comes to your life and the projects that you're doing. Do you need to kind of put yourself in a mind space of, yes, I can do this? Because this season, it's about activating the energy to actually do it, to actually create it, not to force it to happen, but to commit so deeply to it that it is going to happen no matter what. So think about those projects for your home where you can light things up a little bit more, where you can shift things, hang art on the walls. Someone in the School of Intention did something brilliant and put up her own vertical garden on the wall in her house, which was incredible. People have been doing their own small home repairs, which are amazing. I watch people on TikTok all day long who are literally building cabinetry and doing all these things, and they had no prior experience, and they just watched videos and learned the things and step by step figured it out. You can do this. And this is how skills are built in all ways. Practice is the magic, and it won't be perfect. I didn't perfectly do the drawers. I skipped out on adding 2 different screws. Don't tell anyone. They still work, but it was just too much to go the full distance. But I will say, if I didn't do it, I would still be waiting, and waiting puts your life in a maybe. This is a season without maybe. This is a season of yes or no. So anything that you can activate right now that's been on hold, it's the time to say yes. It's the time to jump into that creative activation. So let's talk about building momentum through motion, because motion in all of life builds momentum. So how can you do this? How can you build more momentum in motion? You can walk. Taking an intentional walk every day can be so mind clearing. I do this with the dogs. You can do something really wonderful by stretching and thinking about stretching your horizons, expanding in new directions. You can stretch every day, and that can be incredible. You can activate more energy by doing some other movement practices that really balance and open up your life, like dance, or any sort of more flowing aerobics, things that, even swimming, that put you in a sense of flow and activate your energy in new ways. So think about where you can bring motion that you can do into your space. If you have limited ability to do things, anything you do is going to set the wheels in motion. And if right now you can't move around, your visualization of things being in motion, taking the time to close your eyes and visualize things being in motion, will set things in motion for you. So there's always something that we can do. Now, once you have all your home projects thought up, or you actually get in and do them, things are clean, things are cleared, you might want to think about bringing some herbs into your space to freshen things up. You can start an herb garden in your kitchen or anywhere you have a sunny window. If you feel like growing herbs. If you already grow them, that's amazing. Herbs bring so much energy to a space. You can also think about bringing in some herbs. So maybe when you're at the grocery store, you see some basil and it looks beautiful, grab some basil, boil it, make a tea. You could do this with mint tea. You could do this with basil. You could do this with rosemary. Make a tea and actually make the tea. Just make your tea. And then once you have the tea made, then you're going to let it cool completely. So to make a tea, literally just pour water over the fresh herbs or the tea bag, let it sit and let it cool completely with the herbs inside. So it's going to be a strong infusion. And you can use that herbal infusion as a one-time blanket of energy over your space. So basil, rosemary, mint, all are wonderful for home harmony and also for more abundance, which is wonderful for the season. So when you let that cool, put it in a spray bottle, completely cold at this point, put it in a spray bottle and a one-time blanket. You're not going to save this. You're not going to reuse it. Do not save things made with just water out on a counter. Bacteria can grow. It can become very dangerous. You always want to, if you're making something with water, it's a one-time deal. You have to put proper alcohol into your sprays in order to preserve them. And if you don't, it is not a good thing. So this is a one-time blanket of your space, and you're going to walk around and spray everything in just a blanket of this herbal infusion. It's not going to make your home like smell like very strong or different. It's not like essential oils. It's the energetics. So use whatever herb you're drawn to, the energetics, to create, again, more of an optimal environment. One of the beautiful metaphors you can think about right now is that if you're gardening, you set up a space, you set up the soil so that your seeds can grow. Now, if you went outside and just planted some random seeds, right? You just planted some random seeds, went and planted them outside, planted some random seeds, left them there, walked away. Now, they can grow. If they wind up getting the right amount of water, the nutrients they need, the light or the temperature they need, they can grow and you don't have to do another thing. But it's kind of hit or miss. The same thing for our intentions, which we're going to talk about right now. So you can set some goals and make a vision board and put it aside and all that stuff. And you've set the wheels in motion. You've planted those seeds. And then you just walk away and you don't do anything to cultivate it at all. Go back to what you've been doing. And it might come to pass because you planted the seeds, but it also might not. Now, to ensure you have a better shot at growing your seeds, if you're a gardener or if you like doing any kind of growing of anything, chances are you check out what the soil was like. This soil might need some enrichment. It might need some compost. It might need some nutrients. It might need to be more moist. It might need to be more aerated. It might need some work. So you might need to work on the soil, creating an environment for that seed to grow. Now, beyond that, you might need to water it certain times of day. You might need to thin the seeds and spread them out more completely, so it's not so haphazard, so that they have room to grow. You might need to care for these seeds. When they get to a certain point, you might need to move them somewhere, or you might need to cultivate them in different ways. And you might need to continue to feed them, continue to water them, to make sure that they're protected from the elements in all sorts of ways. And when you do this, you ensure that you're going to have a much bigger harvest. Now, how do you learn how to do all those things? You gather the wisdom, you do the practice, you learn from trial and error, and you get more connected to what it is you're doing. And the better you get at this, the more you're going to know with confidence that you're going to have a successful harvest. The same thing goes for your intentions. When you set up an environment using all of this Feng Shui, using all of the things that we talk about, when you set up an environment that is a fertile ground for growth, when you set up a space that is more ideal, and then you use your intention to intentionally, deliberately, clearly bring the energy of what you want into the space, and then you cultivate those things by practicing, by learning, by taking the steps, by being more creative, by taking the actions, by doing the risks, all the things, you are going to ensure that you have a way better chance of making those things happen, not by forcing them, not by pushing them, not by doing some mental gymnastics and thinking and worrying and wondering, but by cultivating them. And that's the energy of the spring equinox. So make your list of your deepest, most heartfelt desires and start thinking about ways that you can practice them, that you can cultivate them, that you can water them and feed them and grow and learn all you need to know to bring them to life, and start creating an environment with your spring cleaning, with your energy shifting, with all the home projects that you do that make you feel proud and able and see your transformational powers. When you do this, you are not just wishing, you are designing your life. You are designing your life. And when you do this, this is why Feng Shui is so powerful for manifestation. You ensure that the chances of your success are just like through the roof. And so this is something I can't say enough about. This is a hugely creative season. Start gathering up all the things you want to create. What do you want to make? What do you want to do? What do you want to see? What do you want to experience? Bring it to life this spring. This is going to be epic. So, on that note, when you are done writing your wish list for the season, fold it up, maybe fold it into a little tiny square, just get it really small, plant it in your yard, plant it in a plant it somewhere, and you will again reinforce that energy of growth. And then get into your life. And again, as I said at the beginning, start doing the things that you love to do. Start doing the things that bring you more joy. Start doing the things that bring you more balance. And as you do, you're going to have the creative energy, the genius, the activation of your full energy, not just your mind, not just your mind and your will, but your full energy that's going to be going deep into what you're doing and pulling all kinds of ideas from the universe and downloads and inspiration and making amazing things happen, not by just wishing, but by creating and designing and being deliberate. This is why I love this work so much, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I'm wishing you all the most amazing, amazing spring equinox. And again, if you want to become a Feng Shui pro trained in this method, either for yourself or as a profession, the School of Intention is open now for registration, and we are starting very soon. And it is one of the most unique, creative, incredible, oh, what in a group of people, dynamic trainings that will give you every single thing that you need to become not just proficient at building these intentional spaces in easy ways, but also helping others to do the same. So you do it for you first, and then you can share it with others. And so that you can find all the information in the description box below. And if you want to set up your home to make big breakthroughs, the energy cleansing class, this manifesting class that's free to start the breakthrough camp season, is in the description box. And we're starting right after the spring equinox with that class. So you can join in that as well. I am thrilled for everything that is ahead, and I am so excited for a new season. For those of you who celebrate daylight savings time, and I say celebrate because I feel like it is a celebration when we get longer days. The longer days begin on Sunday, if you're watching this when I first filmed it. And so we're going to have more light coming in. Think about bringing light into your life, opening more windows, getting outside, and experiencing more of that daylight. Really light up your life in so many ways in the season ahead. If I can help you in any way, please feel free to reach out, Dana@fengshuidana.com. And I will see you guys very soon for lots more. I have lots of videos coming, more lives, full moon, all the things. So happy spring or autumn. And I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye.